Camcorder with no wide-angle lens installed, shot at 1080p at 28 megabits per second unless otherwise noted. Digital NC macro with a 50mm mount, 82mm filter size. Zoom in, zoom out, pan to the doorway to pick up the edge for curvature, and then there's that panning thing with the stabilization quirk where you hardly have to pan very quick and you pick up the vignetting in the corner. Also notice that the eye charts are narrower at the outside edge and wider in the center. That means barrel distortion with this lens. Digital NC with the large macro with the UV filter added, and a little bit of the quick panning, and yeah, there seems to be more of that vignetting in the corner than before. Digital NC 0.43 power with the lens filter and a lens hood. So that creates more of a problem with darkness in the corners, and then you have to bump it up a little more. Looks good on the screen, but sometimes if you look in your PC, you'll still have a little problem, like you didn't bump it up far enough. Then if you go to the quick pan, not really that quick, it's more of a problem. And then you have to bump it up a little more, and you defeated the purpose of a wide-angle lens. Vivitar 0.43 power with macro, a little shorter macro. It's listed on Amazon as a digital NC with no macro, but I was told that digital NC and Vivitar are the same. Gonna zoom in and zoom out. You'll notice that the field of view is narrower than the previous 0.43, and because of that I can do the quick panning and it doesn't seem to bother it at all. Also pan over to the doorway to see any curvature there. I forgot to mention, and this has a 58mm mount and a 62mm filter size. Raynox 0.66 power HD 6600 Pro lens, 58mm mount, 72mm filter size. The field of view is just a little bit less than the 0.43. Zoom in and zoom out. Pan over to the doorway. Come back and do a little quick panning. No vignetting in the corner. This is the same Raynox 0.66 power with the addition of a neutral density filter. All other movements are basically the same. Raynox 0.66 power again with ND filter with the addition of a lens hood. I don't know if I mentioned before, the wide angle stabilization mode is set to the on. There's no problem with the zooming back and forth until you get to the quick panning and you start to see the vignetting in the corner, which then you have to zoom in a little bit just to get rid of that. This is the same Raynox 0.66 power with the ND filter and the lens shade. I totally forgot about the 4K mode. You put in 4K, you get a wider angle and you get a whole bunch of vignetting. So what you need to do is bump it in one. It's a step. The zooming is in steps, so it takes 2 or 3 steps to get rid of vignetting. As you can see, the wide angle of view becomes just about what it is in 1080p to get rid of the vignetting. Digital optics 0.44 power macro lens, 52 millimeter mount with a 82 millimeter filter size. The field of view is just a little bit wider than a 0.43 lens. Digital optics 0.44 macro lens again, this time with the same 82 millimeter filter. And unlike the digital NC lens, the filter does seat all the way, which should help with the vignetting in the corners. Digital optics 0.44 power lens again with the ND filter and the lens shade. This is a Bauer 0.5 power. It has a 62mm mount and a 82mm filter size. The Bauer 0.5 power again with a ND filter installed. Bauer ND5 power again with the ND filter and a lens hood installed. Raynox 0.5 power again with ND filter and a lens hood in the 4K mode. Difference between this one and the Raynox with the additional larger filter size, you get less vignetting in the corner, and therefore you only have to zoom in a little more to eliminate that. First off, the filters used were not NDs, they were UV filters. The digital NC is not very good. It showed a lot of barrel distortion. And the Vivitar, I didn't know the filter size, so it didn't get a real good test. But it's a cheap lens. The Raynox is a good lens. Didn't show any barrel distortion. It's one of my favorites. Now the digital optic and the Bauer, about equal. Plus the Bauer doesn't exhibit that vignetting in the corner when you're trying to pan just a little bit quick. So that'd be good for action shots. But the Renox would be good if you're worried about distortion with the straight lines. And lastly, thanks for watching this video.